What if I told you that you could take courses from places like Harvard, Yale, and Stanford, taught by Nobel Prize winners and folks at Google, without paying a single dime in tuition? Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, it's not a fantasy. It's real, and it's happening right now. So let's dive into this incredible world of free, top-tier online education. Okay, I know exactly what you're thinking. There's gotta be a catch. We've all been taught that anything this valuable has to cost a fortune. So, when someone offers you an Ivy League level course for free, of course your alarm bells start ringing. It feels a little fishy, but the answer? Well, it's actually pretty simple. So, here's the deal. The catch is almost non-existent. The core stuff, the actual learning, the video lectures, the reading materials, the knowledge itself, that is all genuinely free. The paid option is really for the extras, like an official certificate to put on your resume or getting your assignments graded. But the learning part? That's all yours. And you've got to understand, this isn't some weird little experiment anymore. We are talking about a fully fledged, stable, and honestly, an incredibly high-quality system for learning that has really grown up. That's right, the early days of clunky videos and kind of sketchy websites, those are long gone. Today, these platforms have totally figured it out. The world's best universities are all in on making education accessible, and literally millions of people have proven that these courses can lead to real career-changing results. And just look at who's behind this. We're not talking about some obscure colleges here. We are talking the heaviest hitters in the game. Harvard, MIT, Yale, Stanford, and not just universities, but giants like Google and IBM. These are names that carry serious weight, and they're putting their best stuff out there for all of us. This quote from Yale just nails the mission behind this whole movement. It's a real effort to democratize education. The goal, just like they say, is to tear down those old walls, the money walls, the geography walls, that for centuries have kept people from learning. All right, so what can you actually learn? This is the fun part. Let's take a quick spin through just a handful of the legendary courses that are available to you right now for free. This is where it gets really exciting. First up, we have to talk about the crown jewel of free programming education, Harvard CS50. And listen, this isn't some watered-down, light version. This is the real deal. It's the same rigorous, mind-blowing computer science course that students on campus in Cambridge are taking. It's an absolutely rock-solid foundation for anyone even thinking about getting into tech. And the impact, it's just staggering. Think about this. More than 1 million people have enrolled in this one course. That's 1 million people who got a Harvard-level education in one of the most important fields in the world today, no matter where they came from. Now, shifting gears completely, let's look at Yale's most popular course ever. It's called The Science of Well-Being. This course just digs into the psychology of happiness, busts a bunch of myths, and gives you research-backed, actual techniques you can use to improve your own life. And the demand for this stuff is just wow. Over 4 million people have taken this course online. It just goes to show you, this isn't only about job skills. It's about personal growth. It's about understanding ourselves, and people are absolutely hungry for it. Okay, now this one is just incredible. You can learn about financial markets directly from Robert Shiller, a Nobel Prize-winning economist. I mean, think about that. An experience that used to be for a handful of students sitting in a Yale lecture hall is now available to anyone with Wi-Fi. It's absolutely remarkable. So the access is there, the quality is clearly there. But this brings us to the most important part of this whole explainer. How do you take this amazing opportunity and turn it into a real, actual achievement? Because there's one kind of uncomfortable truth we really need to talk about. Yeah, this number, less than 10%. Just let that sink in for a second. That's the average completion rate for these courses. It shows us that the biggest roadblock isn't how hard the material is, and it's definitely not the cost. For 90% of people, the real barrier is just us. It's the personal commitment and the discipline to see it through. But you know what? That does not have to be your story. People succeed at this all the time, and they usually follow a pretty clear playbook. So here's how you can be in that 10%. 1, schedule it. Put it in your calendar like a meeting you can't miss. 2, commit publicly. Tell a friend, post about it, create accountability. 3, take active notes. Don't just be a couch potato watching lectures. Engage. 4, do the work, even the ungraded assignments. That's where the magic really happens. And 5, apply it. Use what you're learning in a real project. All right, a quick practical tip. The magic word you need to look for is audit. When you see a button to audit a course on a site like Coursera or edX, that's your golden ticket. That's the free access button. It means you get to see all the lectures and materials without paying for that fancy certificate track. So where do you find all these amazing courses? Here are the big players you should check out. Coursera and edX are the giants that partner with hundreds of universities. Open Yale courses and MIT OpenCourseWare give you stuff directly from the source. And for specific skills, places like Free Code Camp or Google Skillshop are incredible and totally free. So as we wrap this up, let's circle back to that big idea. For decades, maybe centuries, the conversation around education has always been about access and money. But today, for maybe the first time in human history, that's just not the biggest problem anymore. And this right here, this sums up the new reality perfectly. The barrier isn't access, it's commitment. The world's best knowledge is literally at your fingertips. But it's not a magic pill. These courses demand your time, your focus, and your persistence. They aren't any easier than a traditional class, they're just infinitely more accessible. Look, thousands upon thousands of people have used these exact resources to switch careers, to get a promotion, to completely change their lives. The knowledge is there. The world's best instructors are waiting. The courses are ready. The only question left is, are you?